Good afternoon, I'm coming to you from East Central Florida. We're about to go in, as you can see, Bulow Plantation Ruins Historic State Park. The state park, I believe, is $4 to get in. You have to have an exact change, so I'm guessing there's not a ranger. It's probably one of those Iron Ranger stations. We're gonna go check it out. The entrance is right over there. Let's go get inside, let's go make some memories.
Okay, park opens 9, closes at 5, and park closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays. In the early 1800s, this road was known as the Old Beach Road. It went from Old Kings Road to the Atlantic Ocean, crossing Bulow Creek and the Intercoastal Waterway. This was also the original entrance road to Bulow Plantation. Today, it looks very similar as it did when Bulow Plantation was in operation.
So we just followed the main road in. You saw we paid our $4 to get in, so that's what, $1.33 a person? Not bad. And there's a boat launch, it looks like, down there. So we're gonna go walk down there and see. It looks like there might be some people fishing. And then I'm guessing this is probably the interpretive center. And then going this way, I think that's a road that we can drive. It says Bulow Plantation Sugar Mill Ruins, 1/4 mile. It looks like we can drive that, so I think that's what we'll do after we're here. And I also seen a sign over there that says Nature Trail. All right, so let's keep going and checking this place out. Let's go see what's in here. This is what we're looking at. It was founded in 1821. 203 years ago. You heard? The plantation had almost 200 slaves that did the daily work. Visiting soldiers noted all the plantation buildings were of the finest construction. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here. Bulow Plantation house. We gotta go find the house wherever it is. It was destroyed in the Second Seminole War in 1836. It was only 15 years old. Wow. This is like a picnic pavilion. It's dark in here. I apologize for the light. It shows the seasons of Bulow Creek and it shows the different birds and stuff you can see. This is a nice little place to eat though. What's over this way? Let's see. Park office, okay. Shows you the different kinds of birds you can see, skunks, all that good stuff. All right, next to where the birds were on the wall and where I got the map from, there's a bathroom that's right there. That's good to know. Okay, there's an entrance to the bathroom there as well. So it looks like there's one indoor bathroom, one outdoor bathroom. That's interesting. There's a couple of picnic tables. A nice little bench that she found with a beautiful view. Let's go see what she's looking at. You found a good place to sit? Nice views?
sleeping over there.
Okay. This is a nice view. Alright, so I found something here. Let's see what this is. Indigo Production. Vats and drying racks were used for the production of indigo. The vats were large, holding up to 2,000 gallons of liquid. The stems and leaves were cut and laid in the larger vat. The stems were then covered with a urine and water mixture and left to soak. The liquid darkened to a gold or olive color. After 8 to 12 hours, the liquid was drained into the lower vat here, and the lime water was added. Oh, that's interesting. So down here from the pea and water indigo mixture base over there, let's see what this is. Okay, this is slave cabin area. The slave cabin sites evidence the life of the enslaved Africans and their forced labor that built and operated the plantation. There were 40 cabins home to 197 men, women, and children, according to the 1830 census. Cabins were arranged in a semicircular pattern centered around the main plantation house, which you can see in the picture there. Many of the plantation's buildings were within the quarter-mile arc of the cabins. Alright, so as we're walking down the path here, there is a sign up here and a bench. Not sure what this is. We'll see here in a second. Look at this giant tree that's laying on the ground here. Wow. Look at this thing. Holy cow. That's interesting. Hopefully there's no bears in these woods. Each 12 by 16 foot cabin had shingled roofs, board floors, and walls with a coquina fireplace. The cabins were outfitted with common household items such as furniture, storage containers, and tableware. A fire pit in the yard was used for cooking and to heat water. The yard was swept down to bare soil, which was a tradition brought from West Africa. So they actually swept the yard down. So I guess that's what was it. Yeah, you can see the foundation on the ground right here, something. You can see the parking lots over here. The restrooms and the picnic table areas there. The bench that the little one was sitting on was over there. This area that's fenced off here. Is this the former plantation house site? Because there is some old ruins in the ground where those trees are growing out of. Is that what this is? There's no signs telling me one way or the other. But if I had to guess, being that they have this fenced off, they don't want people climbing and walking on that. So I'm guessing that's probably what that is. And you even see these old markings. This was probably the old marking where the property line was or something like that, for the house line. It says it was built in the 1820s. It had 2.5-story building, a veranda on all sides, which is that wraparound porch right there. I love that. It was wooden. It had two kitchens were in separate buildings. James Ormond III said of the meals he ate during his stay here, they had plenty of milk, eggs, butter, supply, hogs, venison, turkeys, wild honey, and coontie bread provided by Seminole hunters. What the hell is coontie bread? Then it says it was abandoned in 1836 due to growing tensions in the area between U.S. troops and the Seminole Nation. A great rosy glow was observed January 31st, 1836 in St. Augustine. The house was never rebuilt. This is some of the stuff they found there. Plate, fragments of some stuff, some olive oil bottles. So I'm guessing that's what this was here, was the house. This was where the house sat. This area that was fenced in, which does make sense. And then the boat slips to water right out here where there's a boat dock, which I'm going to go walk out there now. They already went. And that's where they would launch the boats. So I'm guessing that's what this is. And it looks like there might be some stuff this way, some sort of hiking trail. Okay, this is a canoe trail, 13 miles total. Trail beginning 3.5 miles upstream from this point, finishes 6 miles south at High Bridge. Open 9 to 5. So this park's only open till 5 o'clock. It's not sundown. Please leave dock clean for others to enjoy. Yes, please. This is a little dock. You can come out here and check out the view. Wow, this is gorgeous. Look at this view. I'm going to shut up right now and give you a nice little panoramic view of what I'm looking at. Enjoy. What a view. I know this is a state park, which is good because they can preserve the land. You can see some houses and stuff on the other side of the water over there. But this area right here, like if this was available for purchase, this would be an amazing place to purchase. Have a boat or canoe launch right there, and then wake up every morning to this view. Amazing. Wow, what a view. $4 to get in, $1.33 a piece. This was your $1.33 view. I know that sounds chintzy, but you know what I mean when people say it's your $1 million view, whatever. That view was definitely worth $1.33. Even if you came in the park and all you did was go pee and go look at that view. Worth it. Worth it. But we haven't even seen the sugar mill ruins yet, so we got to go check that out too. It says these boat slips harbored work and pleasure crafts. Fortunately survived time because John Bulow reinforced them with ale and wine bottles which were discarded from their house parties. Huh. Hauled plantations produce, sugar, molasses, cotton down to the creek to the Halifax River, then south to Mosquito Inlet, which is now known as Ponce Inlet, where it was carried by schooners onto the east coast into Caribbean ports. Wow. That's pretty interesting if you're a bird watcher that Audubon was here looking for new kinds of birds, new species. That's pretty interesting. So is that what these are right? Yeah, these are the boat slips right here. That's what these are right here. I know it doesn't look like much. It just looks like a little embankment. But this was the boat slips where the boats came in to load up. That's really cool. Like they said, it's pretty neat that they survived. God, almost 200 years they've survived. Over 200 years in some cases, I think. Wow. I don't know if I'm on the path or not. I don't think I'm on the path anymore. I'm just walking aimlessly. Yeah, I guess I am. Maybe. I don't know. From the area we were just at, where the boat slips and the boat docks and all that were, and the pier, there's a hiking trail that'll take you through here from their parking lot to this one. We just drove it because we don't know when it's going to start raining, and it was like a 1/4 mile drive, so that's not far. So walking that trail would probably only take you about 5-10 minutes. But this is really cool. This is what the admission is for here. This is the ruins of the sugar mill. Sugar production in Bulowville. Alright, if you want to pause it and read this, go ahead. And to give you an idea of where we are at, we're in that part of Florida, East Central Florida. And number 2 is where we are on this map, so we're right here. So Matanzas Inlet, which is close to St. Augustine's right there, Ormond Beach, Daytona, New Smyrna, and southward. My father, Charles Wilhelm Bulow, was born in 1778 in South Carolina to a German Lutheran minister. A wealthy man, my father purchased 4,675-acre plantation in Florida for $9,944 in 1821. He died 2 years later in 1823, and I, his son, John Joachim Bulow, inherited the plantation and built the sugar mill that you now see today. This was the largest sugar mill in Florida. It was operated by Charles Wilhelm Bulow and John Joachim Bulow from 1820 until it was burned by the Seminoles in 1836. Sugar cane was planted in January and February, was ready for harvesting by mid-October. Field workers cut the cane, loaded on the wagons, and brought it into the mill for processing. Look at this. This is cool. The size of this. Lots of energy were required. Horses, oxen turned the gears that moved the large rollers used to crush the cane. Oh, they've done a good job with these storyboards. I'm going to go on this one so you guys can pause it too if you want to read it. This well supplied water for the boiler that produced the steam to operate the cane crushing machinery. So that's what this well was right here. Man, it would have been cool to see what this thing looked like if it hadn't been completely destroyed. Let's just keep walking the path here. There's signs all along the path. Like I said, this is very well done. Kudos to Florida State Park. Ooh, the boiler and the machinery. A large long boiler and furnace filled the right half of this room. Steam from the boiler was piped to the engine on the second floor of the building to your right, which is right there. This engine operated a large gear that turned the rollers that crushed the sugar cane. Then this was a sawmill, 18 feet beyond this sign. It's this area that you see that's all fenced off. It was run by the same steam engine as the sugar mill when sugar was not being made. So they used it as a sawmill when there was no sugar production. Well, exact use unknown. Maybe that was a toilet. Feeding the plantation population, along with sugarcane, I also grew cotton, corn, and rice, in addition to vegetables for our own personal use. Livestock or game provided meat for my table. To preserve food, we cured the meats and kept food cool in the spring houses. Cool water from the spring helped keep the items in the spring house from spoiling. Slaves on the plantations would not typically have access to the spring house to preserve their food. Well, that's just not fair. That sucks. In addition to staples I provided, such as cornmeal, they ate vegetables from their own plots. Small game they were able to hunt and kill, and any fish that they caught. Could have let them still keep their food from spoiling. Cane was placed on a conveyor starting here. The conveyor, which was about 3 feet wide, lifted it to the roller crushers on the second floor. The juice ran into saddling vats. The crushed sugar cane, called the bagasse, came out the opposite side of the building, was hauled away in carts.
Don't these look familiar?
Yeah, like the other Yulee sugar mill. Yeah, if you haven't watched our Yulee Sugar Mills Historic State Park video, I'll put the link to that one right up above, and I'll put it in the description down below as well. But it's the same thing where it shows the kettles. It's just not as well preserved as this site. I'll just go here if you want to pause it and read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay, similar to the other one we went to. Riding the Jamaica train. We called this system the Jamaica train. Cane juice was gravity-fed into the series of kettles. My slaves ladled boiling juice from the kettle to kettle until it finally granulated. So that's how it was. We saw it at the other place where they actually had the kettles still. Here they don't have the kettles, but they show you how they did it, where they literally went from one to the next to the next to the next to make the process of making the cane juice.
Process the juice from kettle to kettle until it finally granulated in the battery. Then they struck the juice and removed it to vats to cool. The battery's the last one, so it started here and went all the way down.
Went that way, yeah. Cooling vats location where it would cool and then it would turn into sugar. Wow. So diabetes can be linked to this location. Just saying. The transformation of cane juice into sugar. After granulating and cooling in the sugar house, the sugar was not still ready to ship out. Although it was granulated, the sugar was still wet with molasses. The slaves scoured and spaded this sugar into Hogs Head, or large barrels, located in 2 curing rooms on either side of the loading area. The Hogs Head could hold 1,000 pounds of sugar. Wow. The slaves placed the Hogs Head on boards over cisterns, like you see in the pictures here. Open joints in the barrels and tubes allowed the molasses to drain out of the barrels into the container, a process that took around 30 days. Wow. Once it was drained, then it was ready to ship. Some plantations, such as Dummit, they had their own distilleries which would make rum from molasses, but this location did not. It says, I cannot tell you how much profit I made from a typical sugar crop, but in 1836, following the destruction of my plantation, I estimated my crops for that year would have been worth at least $20,000. That's $20,000 in 1836, and you saw that this whole area was bought for $9,900 just a few years before. So $20,000 is a lot of money back then. This is talking about the same thing, where they'd sell the molasses from here to other places where they could make rum. At some point, we'll hit up the Dummit sugar mill as well, and we'll do a video of that. So somewhere down the road, we'll be back in this area. The Hogs Head barrels were stored on the floor above this room and lowered through an opening onto the wagons below. The wagons left these archways that you see right here. The wagons would pull through this area, either way, and head to ship the sugar out by boat to Jacksonville, St. Augustine, and Savannah, Georgia. All right, so just past the ruins, when you follow the sidewalk around, there's what's called an interpretive center here, which it's outdoors, it's just covered. And they show you artifacts that have been found, nuts and bolts, parts of the sugar mill, a sugarcane grinder, Boulow, the story of the land. Here's some other stuff they found here. Parts of a griddle, musket balls, hooks, doorknobs, pieces of bottles, stoneware melted. melted metal, a chamber pot. All right, so this is gonna wrap up our visit here to the Bulow Sugar Mill Ruins State Park. Forgot the name. So funny, such a long name. But anyway, that's gonna wrap up our visit here. If you like this video, leave us a big thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below. What'd you think of this place? You think it was pretty cool? I love seeing history, so this was pretty cool to experience. Share this with anybody you know who likes Florida, likes history in general. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Safe travels, and as always, guys, see you soon.